Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sparring Narration. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And going to, in this episode, be going over a little bit of stand up, a front headlock series, a sweep, and a deep half guard sweep as well. So I'm here with my opponent. He is a blue belt. He's got some wrestling experience. We're doing a little bit of grip fighting. I'm doing a little bit of a 2-on-1 here. You're going to see my opponent in a second. He shoots. I sprawl out, and we start over again. I normally like to take a right foot forward stance. I'm a righty. For some reason, though, it's a couple rounds deep, and I'm a little tired. He shoots again. This time I'm able to sprawl. And my goal always here is to try to move to his back. Ideally, if we bring this back a little bit, I want to move towards his back in order to get side position, side control. Or I should say... to the rear turtle position right here to move around to his side. I don't have his head secured, and that's why he's able to just stand right up. I sort of still had the grip on the collar from the defending of the takedown, and that's what sort of messed me up. Here I'm doing a little coaching, just letting him know, hey, listen, when you shoot, you got to break that grip first. He's going to shoot here again on a single. This time I'm able to sprawl. I sprawl hard, get his head down, and move to the side. We just avoid... one of my training partners, he's actually a judo black belt, and just avoid getting hit there. We're all right. This time I'm able to move around to his side. Now what I'm doing right here that you can't see with my right hand is that I'm grabbing his cuff sleeve. The reason why I want to grab his cuff sleeve is that I'm going to grab his cuff sleeve, and then I'm going to move him around in this direction. I'm going to move clockwise in this direction, and that's going to bring his whole body to face me and put him right into side control. My left hand is up by his collar when I try this. This left knee is going to be cutting off his escape route here. It's going to be giving some leverage to literally unwind him. You're going to see right here in a second. There we go. I've got the grip on his cuff sleeve, and now I'm going to open him right up into side control. Easy. Anytime the person is not playing a tight turtle position, you can hit that move on them. So always be on the lookout for that. Controlling him now from side control, I'm going to work to get a Kimura position here. I originally tried to go knee on belly. He blocks that off, giving me the arm on the opposite side. I'm going to get that arm in a figure four grip. Then I'm going to step my left leg over his head. There we go. Figure four grip, legs have stepped over the head. Once I do this, I'm going to twist my body, my whole body. So I'm not just using my arms to get the Kimura grip off. I'm using my whole body. So even if he's grabbing his belt here, he's got to fight my whole body off, not just my arms. Now, as soon as I get my whole body here, I sit my hips on top of his hips. Gives me even more power. Look at that. The tap's coming instantaneous. And that's it. We're going to go back. We're going to start again on our feet. And again, as I see this video now, I'm asking myself, why do I have my left foot forward? I should have my right foot forward because that's the side that I like to go to and throw to. But whatever, we got to work with it. I'm fighting off his grips now. He's doing a little bit better grip fighting since I told him sort of what to do. Here's an important little detail. Whenever you're doing stand-up, whether it's judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, whatever, you don't want to cross your feet and stand up. You always want to have a staggered stance. Staggered stance. You don't want to be square on. Look at how my opponent, when we go back here, he's a little bit square in his stance. Whenever you're square and you're lined up with your opponent, it's much easier to hit an array of takedowns, as opposed to if you are staggered. Now, it's either you're attacking my front leg or you're moving me around. So you move in a staggered position, never crossing your feet, always standing staggered like a boxer. The best takedowns you can do are going to be attacking this front leg, either wrestling shots, and I know to expect that, and I'm ready to expect that, which is why I was able to stop his 2 attempts. Also, when you're doing takedowns with the gi, if you're able to get that gi grip and keep that staggered stance, it is very, very hard for your opponent to be able to take you down. See him standing again at a staggered stance. I'm in a left-sided stance, though. I hate that. Here I am fighting. He's getting better grips. He's got a cross collar grip on me. I come over the top to make his arm weak on that grip, and then I'm trying to break his other grip. Finally, I decide, let me pull him into guard. Let me just stop this right here and just say a couple things about pulling into guard. I'm not a fan of guard pulling. I would rather, if you're not good at takedowns, learn to grip fight and wait to counter off your opponent going for a takedown if you're not good at any takedowns. I just don't like the idea of pulling into guard. Although it is a skill that you do have to learn if you're competing, because there's going to be times where maybe that's the best strategy. If you do pull into guard, you want to try to be attacking immediately from the pull. So here you're going to see I pull into guard, I get a cross grip, breaking the grip, then immediately going into an omoplata sweep attempt. He defends in one direction, so I go back and I take the sweep in another direction. Small detail here, when you do the omoplata sweep and he doesn't go forward, so you decide, hey, I'm going to roll over my shoulder and take him backwards, you've got to hold the leg the whole duration of the sweep, or else your opponent will be able to scramble back up. So here I'm holding his leg. As soon as I come up, I continue to hold the leg until I've passed. Now that I've passed, I get control and I immediately start to consolidate the position. So here I'm going for another Kimura attempt. He's defending really well. He's got my leg now. Small detail right here. See how I weave my left hand in between his arms and underneath his head. I bring my right arm to block his hips, and I sit my weight across his hips as best as possible. The real key to this position is the weave in between his arms under his head keeps him from being able to come up. Keeping the pressure on that, keeping the pressure. Eventually, he's not going to be able to come up. He's going to have to abandon it, and it's going to allow me to get into side control. It's also going to result in him burning a lot of energy. So I'm controlling his hips again. I have him in side control. A knee on belly. I'm trying to do the knee on belly in order to get him to pop the hand up. I move around him again. I take his back. I wasn't good on the back control here. I should have been a lot better. You can see my hands aren't anywhere up by his collar. I'm just not what I should be doing in order to really get good back control and be able to really break him down well. I really should have been focusing on really breaking him down better. And he's able to come up and get a good takedown here on me. He tries to take my back. I quickly move and spin and try to put him into a half guard, deep half guard position here. He's pretty heavy on top. Again, he's got good wrestling experience. Right here is just a game of being patient. A game of inches is jiu-jitsu. You've got to be patient sometimes, and whatever space your opponent gives you, you move to it. Here again, you can see me getting into my half guard setup. He flattens me out a little bit. I take my time. I take my time because I know it's only going to be a matter of time before I'm able to get an arm in to go real deep half guard. Little pro tip right here, don't let him sit on your arm like this. When you're in half guard, don't let your opponent isolate your arm in this direction, especially if they're much bigger than you. This is a mistake that I made right here. I really should have had this arm underneath and hugging his leg. When this arm is separated away from your body like this, whether you're in side control or any position when you're on the bottom, you want your arms tight and close into you. Knee to elbow is a theme that I repeat in all my sparring videos. You want knee to elbow. I'm not doing it here, and that's a mistake. Fortunately, I'm able to, as we go a little bit later, get that arm back in there and not allow my opponent to take advantage of it. But it's something that you have to be aware of. You can see me trying to free my arm there, and immediately I'm going to bring it back when the opportunity presents itself to then go into deep half. And here I go. I'm able to get the deep half position, going for the waiter sweep here. Able to break his knee down. Now he's in a not good position. He's actually going for a collar choke, which is the wrong thing to do there. But I'll speak about that a little bit later when we run the video back. I'm able to come up on top, and that's where the round ends. So let's go back now and do what we always do in these series, where we break down what the opponent could have done differently. So starting immediately from the stand-up, you want to be breaking grips, especially the grip that's on your lapel. That is the grip that can keep you at a distance, that power hand. Let me just bring it back a little bit and I'll show you. So when we start here, anytime you allow your opponent to get that power hand posted right here, which is this one right here on your lapel, it's going to be incredibly tough for you to be able to shoot in with any sort of wrestling takedowns. And judo takedowns, it's a little bit better. There are more to be able to be done there. But you honestly want to be breaking that grip, either bringing your hand over the top or just knocking that hand away, really getting that hand off of you. Because you'll see here, he tries it there, but I've still got a good grip on it, so he tries to shoot underneath it. But any grip on that lapel, it's going to allow me to sort of anticipate and feel when you're going for that takedown. Got to break the grips. Super, super important. Here I go again. He lets me get the grip, but he's not breaking it. He just has his hand on that lapel grip. So as soon as he shoots in, I already know he's coming. You've got to get physical. Anytime they put that grip on your lapel, knock it away. Get physical. And that's exactly what I'm telling here. Don't let that grip go. Don't accept that grip, break that grip. This time he comes to that side. He's able to get a good take on it, on the leg. What could he have done differently here? He's moving towards my inside. He's moving around towards my inside. Hips high, move outside. Move towards the outside once you have that leg hooked. What it's going to do is it's going to break down my balance towards that side. I'm going to fall in this direction on the mat. Doesn't do it in time, and I'm able to go there and quickly get the side. Again, great Tomonagi throw here by my partner. Get over to the side right here. What do you want to be doing? You don't want to be doing what my partner is doing with his hand right here. You do not want to do this when someone has you in a turtle position and they're moving towards your side. There is no way that this hand is going to be able to do anything against my entire body. My entire body is moving towards it. You're not going to be able to do anything. Instead, you want to bring your right knee in, your left leg out, and sit into me. You want to collapse into me and bring me into a full guard. You want to turn into me. See here, this hand here, this is horrible, right? You don't want to be doing this, guys. He wants to keep this hand close to his neck, because what I could have done was go for a collar choke here, because he's got nothing defending his neck right here. Again, opportunity to sit into me. He tries to go the other way, though, and I'm able to pull him down. Knee to elbow right here. Knee to elbow, as I always say. He's got the knee up, but the elbow is not meeting it. He just sort of has his hands flailing about. You've got to have knee to elbow. Even if they have, now he's got knee to elbow. And you see how much trouble it caused me? I have to readjust. So what do? I pull the knee away from the elbow. What do you have to do? You have to bring that knee back to your elbow. He's got knee to hand, but not knee to elbow. Turn into your opponent, bring the knee to the elbow. Same thing here. As I go for this submission right here, the reason I'm able to get the submission is he doesn't have his knee to his elbow. Now, if my opponent were to turn towards the side that the arm is going to be pulled out and bring this knee to meet his elbow, the leverage point that I have gets minimized. He's not necessarily going to escape, but it gives him more time to be able to defend that submission and get away from that submission. So anytime you're in a bad position, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Again, we're starting standing. If you're a wrestler and you like to take wrestling shots, you really want to be moving your opponent around. You want to be grabbing that lapel, and you want to be dragging them, whipping it up and down, and then setting up your shots. So you can use the clothing, the cloth, the gi to set up your shots as a wrestler. But you've got to get used to that. You've got to get used to that. You can't let your opponent get a grip on their lapel. By keeping my staggered stance, it makes my side of the lapel that he's trying to grab further away from him, and it allows me to get closer to his lapel and plant my hand and get a good grip. And ultimately, that's what you want. A really great YouTube channel to follow on stand-up, guys, is Travis Stevens. He's a judo silver medalist. I've been looking at a lot of his stuff, and it's helped me to look back at these videos and know some of the things that I need to work on. So right here, he's got a good grip. He's got a cross collar grip. I'll let you know, guys, anytime you get a cross collar grip on your opponent, So anytime you get, let's see if we can get the video lined up here. Anytime you get this grip right here, a cross collar grip on your opponent, and your opponent really doesn't have a good grip to counter that, immediately drag them down to the ground with the cross collar grip. You will win that battle 9 times out of 10. You'll even win it higher percentage than that if you kick away the foot to the side that you have the cross collar grip on. So he's cross collar gripping my left side. If my opponent were to come here and foot sweep this foot and make me bring this foot back here into a staggered stance, he should then immediately drag down on this collar. What that's going to do is all of his body weight is coming to this side. I have nothing to post on that side. And he's going to easily take me down, if not stumble me to the ground or bring me down to my knees. Your opponent pulls you into a guard. Tournament, sparring, doesn't matter. Your opponent pulls you into a guard. Posture up and stand up. We've got to open up the guard standing up. We know the guard opens from closed guard, from our knees. That's good. But as you go up the skill levels of jiu-jitsu, it's all about opening your opponent's guard standing. Why? Your opponent has less attacks when you open their guard up from standing position. They have less sweeps. They have less submissions. There's only a handful of things that they can do from you when you're opening the guard from standing. Therefore, statistically, you want to stand to open up the guard. There's just less things for them to attack you with, less weapons they have. The longer you stay in their guard, especially if they're a guard puller, it means that they've got some attacks ready for you. You don't want to allow that to happen. He got swept here. Look at what he's doing, though. Knee to elbow, guys. Anytime you're getting passed, anytime you're in a bad position, think knee to elbow. It will save you a lot by giving you opportunities to escape. Nowhere here are his knees and elbows connected, and that's what's really causing the problem here. You see how I even have my hand here to prevent his knees from meeting his elbows? I'm stretching out his body. The reason I'm stretching out his body is because his body is much weaker when it's stretched out. So knee to elbow, guys, whenever you're in a bad position. It's funny because if you look here, here's my instructor with another student. What's he doing? He's keeping his knees as close to his elbows as possible right here. Your opponent takes your back. You immediately have to be thinking back to the mat, back to the mat. In this instance right here where there's one hook in, you've got to be thinking, hey, I've got to protect my neck. He does a good job here. 2 hands on one. And now look, see that knee to the elbow right here? See the knee to the elbow? Everything is nice and tight. He's not letting me get everything. He comes back and keeps everything nice and tight. And look at the opportunity. The opportunity presents itself to get up, take me down, and now to take my back. So now the game switches, and I'm able to go to knee to elbow as well. So guys, if you like this video, again, please like and subscribe to the channel, share the channel. If you have comments on it, please feel free to comment. And until next time, guys, be safe,